We are counting down the top 20 draft booster boxes from the last 4 years on Collectors of the Coast. Welcome to Collectors of the Coast. I am Cash. Today I wanted to go into the best and worst value draft boxes over the last 4 years. I kind of got thinking about this with the double feature coming out and just the box values of what's in it versus some of the other products. And so I actually thought I'd do a couple of videos. The first one I'm going to do here is the video about the sort of standard or draft boxes or what is kind of in that realm. So the things that won't be in it are the mass reprint sets. The things that will be in it are sets that have new cards for one, and stuff that came in a draft box. So we're going to do draft. Set boxes are a little bit harder to find the pricing on. They're always a little bit more, but for this we're going to focus on the draft boxes. So number 20 is Innistrad Crimson Vow. It has been crushed for value coming out. I think it's at its low. We're talking about $68.43 American from the prices I pulled, about $87 Canadian. Just not, the value just isn't there right now with the prices out on the market. And I expect this will actually come up a little bit. It just hasn't had the best reception, but I don't think the box price is going to stay this low. I don't think it's one of the best ever, but I do expect it to pop up a little bit. I just think we hit the very low on this one, so it's in kind of a unique spot for when we do this. So, but number 20, Innistrad Crimson Vow. So, number 19, Zendikar Rising. So Zendikar Rising, when it came out, the one thing, and you'll see some of the lower ones are like this. It had the expeditions. Expeditions are still nice, it's still doing really well, but the regular draft boxes didn't have expeditions, and there's just not a lot of amazing rares or mythics in the boxes. It's a very underwhelming set to open a draft box of. Set boosters, okay. When you get into the collector boosters, actually pretty good. So. But it is right now at $70.73, about $90 Canadian. It's hard to get these boxes for that price and get any kind of value out of them. So third on the list was a big surprise for me. Now I will mention, so third is Throne of Valdrain. It is $79.63, about $101 or $101.53 Canadian. Now, I will mention the price on this doesn't include any of the alt arts and the values of the alt arts. So the value is going to be a little higher than this. But I think Throne of Valdrain, and I think Throne of Valdrain is going to be good long term. Very powerful set, but had a lot of cards banned, a lot of reprinting of it. So it's just going to take a while for some of those reprints to work their way through. And these become just a little more scarce. There's just a lot of Throne of Valdrain out on the market right now still, and lots of copies of stuff. So it's kept the prices down. It's pretty amazing that it's third lowest. If you look at how many really good cards were in the set. So that is number 18. Number 17 is Corset 2021, a set I again liked quite a bit. Corset 2021, $83.56 American, $106.54 Canadian. So not big value out of the box. Some good cards in there. Ugin was banned in, I think, one format. I can't remember what format it's banned in. It is banned, I think, in historic. I don't know. Shouldn't affect box prices, right? Anyways, it's got some good cards in there. It had, I think, 3 or 4 really big reprints in there. Azusa Lost But Seeking was reprinted. I think Cultivate was reprinted in an alt art. Sad Robot got the Ugin, got one of the tutors. I know I'm missing another big one, but there was some good cards in there. So surprised to see it that low. I feel like it's not a terrible buy, but again, not holding big value. So next was Adventures of Forgotten Realms, a set that I didn't think was very good, and it was actually a little bit better maybe than what I gave it credit for initially. It's sitting at around $85 American, 108 Canadian. I did kind of a simple conversion of like 27% on these things. So for the difference, Again, Adventures of Forgotten Realms, just underwhelming. Some of the alt art cards that you get in the boxes are just underwhelming. The set itself is okay. There's some playable cards in there that I think are going to age fairly well. Some of those enchantments that you can level up or whatever, they're not bad. The classes, I guess they are. And there are a couple of really nice playable rares. The dragon's really good. So I don't expect this is going to have an amazing future, but it's not bad. So the next set actually surprised me surprised me and didn't. Strixhaven School of Mages, $86.76, about $110 Canadian for a box, and for box value. And the expected value of these is all in the archive slot. So the actual set, I think it's the worst set they've printed in a long time. If you look at the actual rares in the set, it's in Mythics, it's terrible. There's like nothing that's over $10. So it's just not a very good set. This is like Dragon Maze without the Mystical Archives. It's Dragon Maze 2.0, and you should never buy it. With the Mystical Archives, it's still borderline to buy, but maybe it's worth if you really like the Mystical Archives and you feel like gambling getting a box. So next on the list is Calheim, $88. It's about $112 Canadian. Again, this kind of falls into that middle range. Some really big cards in the set, really nice cards like the Goldspan Dragon there, and a couple of cards that just got banned that were very good. So really like the Squirrel. I think this set actually has a fairly bright future. I think it's going nowhere but up, and I don't expect it to spike hard or anything, but I do expect it to slowly see it go up to the point where we'll get to maybe a couple $100 a box, maybe in 5-6 years. So next up, which I didn't think these sets were like amazing at the time, but they've actually aged really well. Next up is Guilds of Ravnica, $92.51 for a box, $118 Canadian, so a pretty solid box. Hard to find the boxes. You can't really find the boxes for that price, so you're gonna have a hard time getting your money back. But pretty good set. Has those lands in it that have value. Now they may go down a little bit because later in the year the unset's got some of those lands being reprinted, but they've already been kind of reprinted and it's held, so don't expect it to go down that much. Pretty solid box. Now try to get a box for $120 and then try to get that value. It's pretty hard to find. So Ikoria Lair of Behemoths. Again, this is right about the same price, around $92, $93, about 118 Canadian again. And it's a good box, fun to open. Didn't know how it was going to age at the time. Kind of funny with those Godzilla cards and stuff. You didn't really get the Godzilla cards in the draft booster boxes, but this was pre-set boosters, so it does make it a little bit better, I think, in general. Some good cards in the set that are definitely playable. Some of those Mutate cards are really good. Some of the Triomes have aged really well. Really solid cards. So nice kind of solid set. Kind of falling right in the middle. We're in the middle now, so we are down to number... I'm at 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Corset 2019. So number 11, Corset 2019. $94 a box, American. $120 Canadian expected value out of the box. So really kind of solid. There's kind of like a depth of good cards in this set. There's just not... I don't think there's too many that are like super high price, but there's a lot of like really solid, good playable cards. So I think it's actually well worth opening. Maybe don't chase after it, but I think it's well worth opening. So, all right, so we're into our top 10. There's some surprises in here for sure. I'm sure there's some that are no surprises to anybody that they're in the top 10. But number 10, and I think this set has actually a really good future to it. I loved opening it when it came out. Is Innistrad Midnight Hunt. So Midnight Hunt, about almost $95 expected value, $120 Canadian. You can probably find them for close to that on the market. So you have a good chance of getting your money back if you open them, and you get some standard cards that are quite good. You get some beautiful lands in it. Just a really fun opening experience, I thought. Been kind of ho-hum. The collector boxes, not a lot of value to them right now. But the actual standard boxes and the set booster boxes, really good. expect, given this is not very old, and it's already at this price, I expect this to have a really good future. I know they brought out the double feature, and that's going to have some fun with the prices, but I don't think there's that much of it enough that's really going to affect this set. So I expect that we're going to have some good stuff. We'll see what the Challenger decks do and the reprints do, but I like this set for the future. So number 9, Ixalan. So the original Ixalan set, really $94.68. Number 9 on the list, $121 Canadian. Some good cards in there. You know what? It's again, it doesn't stand out as a set to me. If you go back, there was some fun stuff with some of the dinosaurs, but it didn't stand out as like, you know, is this going to be the greatest set ever? But a nice solid set that it probably has a nice solid future to it. It's not getting reprinted a ton. Those cards don't. I think actually maybe the nice part about the set is that the cards in the set don't necessarily stand out as cards you reprint a ton. So it probably got a nice history or a nice future of maybe some of those cards aren't reprinted a ton. So it may actually just keep its value really well. So next one on the list, and I actually thought this one would be a little higher up, but it's not, especially considering the box values and what they are on the open market. And this is Dominaria. In Dominaria, $99, so we're almost at that $100 mark, 126 Canadian. And Dominaria, real solid set in my mind, has one of the best planeswalkers ever in the Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Just amazing card. Some other really good cards in there too. I think it's got, I don't want to mix them up, but it's got some, there's a bunch of really good cards in there, especially with Dominaria 2 coming up. I expect this is got a bright future over the next several months. I think people are going to want to crack this a little bit more. I expect we'll see an up arrow on this a little bit. I don't know if it's going to go crazy, but it's a real solid set. So, all right, next up, and this is one that was, again, another one that's lower on the list than I thought, and this is War of the Spark. Okay, and so War of the Spark, about $109 American. We're talking about $138 Canadian. So we're up to, or almost $140 Canadian. So we're up to actually like fairly normal box price when you buy a box when they're in standard. So that said, the boxes have went up in price. They're harder to get now. I think they're pushing $200 on the open market, and so they're a little bit hard to get. But nice set, very unique. I think it's just going to have a great future going forward. A lot of those planeswalkers, if they're not reprinted to all heck, I think they have a really good future to them. And look for this set to only go up, but maybe not as fast as we think, because it was a very printed set for how many boxes went out of the standard boxes. So there is a lot out there. I know I myself own a few of them kicking around. So we'll see how it goes in the future. So next one, surprise for how high it was on the list to me. I would have never expected this, and I actually have been a big proponent of this set. Theros Beyond Death. You are number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on our list. Number 8 on our list is, no, am I too high? No, sorry, number 6 on our list, Theros Beyond Death. When Theros Beyond Death came out, people were just saying this sucked. The collector boxes cratered hard. The booster boxes cratered hard. I got some of these boxes for really cheap. We opened quite a bit of it. I own quite a bit of this set, and I think it's a really good set. Just a deep set with lots of good cards that have like really nice features to them. Some that are really strong, but maybe not like overpowered per se. But I mean, you know what? It had Euro and Croxa in it, and they're amazing cards. And they're easier to pull in the draft boxes than they are in the collector boxes, which makes all the sense that these draft boxes have good value to them. You can probably find these boxes on the market for not much more than $140 still. You might be able to eke one out for about $150. So you might be able to just get one, open it, get your money's worth. So people have realized this is better over time. Things like Shadow Spear aged really well. Some of the other cards in the set aged really well. Some of those cards that come back, really good. I like the Ox of Agonis. I don't think it aged very well, but I like some of those cards. The enchantment creature one that makes horses or whatever they are. Horses? I can't remember what they are. Anyway. But there's just a number of really good cards. It's got a tutor in there as well, and the tutor's amazing. So so we're into the nitty-gritty now. We're into the top 5. So number 5 on the list, and this was a surprise for me, Ravnica Allegiance. So when we kind of got back into it, and when Dash just started playing, it was kind of between Ixalan and Ravnica. And so the first set that we ever sort of did together, where we did a little tournament and draft, was Ravnica Allegiance, and we got some of the draft packs, I think, when we went out to an event. We did one of those drafts, and it was like super exciting. I don't remember what colors we got. He actually had a really good deck. He was so young, he didn't know how to play it well. I think he could have won the whole thing. Myself, my deck was okay. I think I went like 2-2 or something like that. But that's a whole other story. Anyway, Ravnica Allegiance, $116, but almost $150 Canadian on them in the expected value in the box. So really nice. Is it Ravnica Allegiance that has Smothering Tithe? Yeah, I can't remember. Is it that one or the other one? Anyway, next up, Commander 2020. Did not get the greatest of reviews when it came out. It was kind of just a set that people kind of saw and kind of went, "Oh, it's good," but it's a core set. Not too excited. There's other stuff, and they were buying the other stuff. And this probably, I think, has the value a lot because the stuff wasn't overprinted. And a lot of times in these core sets, these sets that go under the radar a little bit, they're not overprinted. So some of those cards can maintain value. There's a little more rarity on them. $128 for a expected value in a box. $163 Canadian. That is a good box of Magic the Gathering cards for its relative age of only like 3 years old. So really nice set. And made the top 4, unbelievably. I was actually surprised to see one of the core sets in the top 4. So next up was where am I? Number 3. So this one was harder to get actual numbers on. I couldn't really find it in some of the stuff, so I actually simulated a bunch of like box openings and stuff, and I got $129 for Commander Legends Draft Booster Box, $165 Canadian. You can still find them for around that price on the market. Maybe you can get them still for about 150, maybe 160. So it's a good opening. It's gonna age well. We're talking about a box that's about a year and a bit old. It's barely a year old. And it's already at $165 Canadian, about $130 American. That's a hell of a box, guys. So if you're looking for boxes to invest in, this is one where there's still supply on the market, and it's at the price it's a good price to get in on, and you know that 2 or 3 years from now it's going to be over $200. You're going to make your $40-50 a box. Buy 100 boxes, you make quite a bit of money. You buy 10 boxes, well, you make some money, you know. And if you're not putting it on 20% credit card, you're going to make money. If you're buying it with cash, you're going to be okay. So good box, really exciting. We opened tons of them on the channel. Loved opening them. So one of my favorite boxes ever, and would love to open up another one soon. I might. All right, number 2 on the list, Jumpstart. So again, I couldn't find the best data on this, but Jumpstart came out to $135 a box, almost $172 Canadian in these boxes, and they are on sale right now in some of the stores still for like $129. You can get the box for less than its expected value. Anytime that's a thing, you should buy the boxes. You should buy Jumpstart. Now, if you're doing channel openings, I don't think it's a good channel opening. I gotta say, there's so many packs that are just dud packs and repetition, but there are some great cards in these boxes too. No, I don't know if Commander Legends 2 is going to reprint a bunch of the big ones and is going to kill them. We never know what Wizards of the Coast is going to do. But if they don't reprint these cards right away, some of these big ones, it's going to be good value. So Jumpstart, right now, number 2 on the list. And number 1 is a huge surprise for me. Kind of not, in a way, because I follow the market a little bit. But still, I was surprised to see this was number 1. Number 1 is Rivals of Ixalan, and it crushed all the other boxes. Almost $146 American, it's about 186 Canadian for expected value for Rivals of Ixalan. No one wanted these boxes at one point, guys. No one wanted Rivals of Ixalan. It was a dud box. There was so many other good sets that came out around this thing. Dominaria, War of the Spark. We got into Throne of Valdrain, and everyone was like, "Oh man, I don't want this trash. Take my trash." These boxes now $146 American. Oh, we're getting close to $200 Canadian on expected value in these boxes. If it's just like one more card spikes, amazing. If you have these boxes, you should hold on to them. Maybe sell now. I don't know. You never know what the market's gonna do. But this is aged really well, and don't be surprised if this hits $250 if you start to see these boxes on the market for even more, there is a decent amount of supply out there on them. Not going to say that, but anyways, that was the top 20. I hope you guys got something out of it. If you are looking about investing in boxes, I will say honestly that end number of what's in the box matters somewhat. At the end of the day, it's really about what are you buying it for, what's in the box, how's it going to age, and so a box like Innistrad Crimson Vow, if you can get one for $70 American right now, you should probably buy it. At the same time, if it's going to cost you $150 for a box of Rivals of Ixalan, you probably shouldn't buy it because it's too much for what's in the box. So it's all about, don't get so much on the hype of this is the best box ever, because the best box ever, a lot of those cards will get reprinted. The medium boxes, sometimes they just don't reprint those cards, so they may actually have a brighter future. So anyways, I hope everyone enjoyed the video and got something out of it. Please like, subscribe, help us out in the algorithm. If you like what we're doing, we do have a Patreon. The information's in the comments. I hope you liked the video. Everyone have a magical day.